positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness which creates and animates all things. After years of exploring this awe-inspiring truth on this podcast, I'm super excited to announce that we are now going even deeper down the rabbit hole on the new late-night style consciousness-elevating talk show called Optimistic, which features none other than you, the listeners. Optimistic is taped out of the epic, spaceship-esque 8-bedroom property we call the Mystic Manor that myself and the rest of the Optimistic crew now navigate reality from in Venice Beach, California. And you are invited to come experience a Mystic Manor immersion week with us. During your week-long stay, you'll enjoy unique workshops, chef-prepared meals, one-on-one time coaching and consulting with me, and even co-creating magic with me as a guest on both Optimistic and an episode of the Positive Head podcast. When I started this, my aim with these immersive retreats was to facilitate the ultimate spiritual upgrade and tune-up, so to speak, for our guests while providing them with one of the most memorable experiences of their lives. And I'm happy to say that as of this recording, every guest at the end of their trip so far has told me that they have had a profound and transformational experience at the Mystic Manor and that they definitely want to come back. All that being said, we only have a limited number of spots available between now and next July. And as of this recording, about half of those spots are already filled. So if there's any part of you that is screaming, yes, I want to come, I feel like I need to be there, go now and book a slot with me to discuss how we can put our heads together and make it happen at calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. I know for some people there is also that little voice in their head saying, why not? I can't get off work. I can't afford it, and on and on and on. But, really Henry Ford, I think, said it best. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I'm confident that where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm personally committed to doing everything in my power, including discounts and payment plans, to get you here if it is something that truly feels like a huge yes for you energetically and like you're meant to be here. Once again, the link to book time to discuss with me is calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. That's spelled calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. All one word, of course. And book in some time and look forward to seeing you soon here at the Mystic Manor. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we grow again. So grateful to be back with you, as always, on this magical Monday here in the studio. Lots of things happening here in my now. I hope your now is delicious and fantastic as well. Today, what do I want to talk about? Well, speaking of delicious nows, I want to talk about learning to be nostalgic about the now. And this topic is one that really is personal to me because, I definitely am a nostalgic person. Looking back at things, a lot of times I'll appreciate them, or in the past, at least, I've appreciated them more than I do when they're right in front of me. And in no area of my life have I been, worse about not being present than in romantic relationships. And, I can think back actually to, several girlfriends ago, having that partner and then that ending and then going into another relationship and then becoming very nostalgic for the partner before that. Then that relationship ending, and then becoming nostalgic about that relationship, and only in hindsight seeing how and where I wasn't really truly present. and where I was like underappreciating and undervaluing what was in front of me. And, that's definitely been a big lesson for me. And so my focus in sort of new perspective these days is how can I be nostalgic about now, instead of looking back on what's went before, only after it's gone and missing it, saying, okay, bringing the awareness to this moment and what's unique about it. And, in my case, it's like early days of recording Optimistic and juggling like mad to, hold it all together and to, manage the retreats and pay for all the expenses and figure out how to get the show out there to when we release it here in the coming weeks. And, all these things. It's a lot of things that I believe one day I'll look back on, and let's say it is the epic success I expect it to be. There will be a part of me that looks back and says, wow, I remember those days, those early days when I was still struggling to figure it all out. And there was a lot of, challenge there and a lot of unknown. And I didn't really fully appreciate it. Now I wish I had it, I am dedicated to not missing, what is in front of me now. I look at my son who's all grown up, big kid now. And, I think, where is that 4-year-old who used to like jump on me and kiss me? And, now he just it's the exact opposite. It's like, where's the keys and give me some money? No, he's still very sweet. But, that little boy is effectively gone. They don't exist anymore. And so how many of you out there as parents are frustrated with your kids or your parents even, right? But one day they'll be gone. And then that pain in the butt part, you'll look back so nostalgically on, if only I had one more day with my mother or father or my son, who's now, 30 years old is, where's that 3-year-old? That day is coming. So how do you bring that awareness to the now? I believe is absolutely paramount if we are going to get the most out of our life. And sure, we've all, can look back and say, I could have done a lot better job. But there's no better time than the present to turn it all around. What is the saying? Like the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. That same principle in our lives. So I challenge each and every one of you guys to do the same thing as me, and that is work on moving beyond this deep appreciation only when it's behind me and sort of not being present when it's here. And I think a big part of the way that we can do that is really just dropping in. This is a great reminder, right? As I'm saying all this, you're like, yeah, that's true. Oh, he's right. Oh man, yeah, maybe I am not fully being present with these things that, doesn't mean they're not challenging. Doesn't mean when the kid poops their diaper, that's not always convenient, but you will look back. Okay, maybe you won't miss the poopy diaper, but you will look back and miss the 2-year-old. And so really, really bringing that every day, making it a focus, before you get out of bed, to make it a big part of your focus is, okay, today is a day that has never been before. It never will be again. It's not going to repeat. And how do I bring the most awareness to it? And if we can do that, not only do we, get more out of every single moment, but I believe what's great about that is we actually create future moments that are even more impactful, that are even more powerful, that are even more of what we actually want to see. But because by moving into that deep sense of gratitude and appreciation and awareness for the beauty of what's here, that is obviously going to attract more things to feel grateful for and appreciative for. Less poopy diapers. So this is the path, becoming nostalgic about the now. If we can really get this one right, it opens up so much depth and joy in our lives and attracts so much more of what we want to see in the future. And the other side of that whole coin for me has been projecting concerns into the future in relationships. And before I break down what I mean by that and we continue on, I'd like to take a moment to announce to you guys we have a new sponsor of the Positive Head podcast, Mack Weldon. As you guys know, I've been very selective about sponsors over the years, only working with a select few that I truly align with. So when Mack Weldon first reached out to me about sponsoring Positive Head, and I saw that they were claiming to make intelligently designed men's basics such as underwear, socks, t-shirts, sweatpants, made from premium fabrics that are also super comfy, I was intrigued. The reason being is because the running joke in my family my whole life has been that you will never see me in anything that isn't super cozy, which, if you ask my mom, has led to many, many embarrassing fancy restaurant dinners with me wearing old sweatpants. So I was intrigued enough that I ordered 4 items to try them out. And when I received them, I knew I had instantly found a new favorite go-to for my basics. My mom is going to be ecstatic to hear their claim that their Ace sweatpants are a modern upgrade for your favorite sweatpants. It's a totally legitimate claim. They are definitely way more comfy and stylish than my old ones, and I've never looked better at dinner. I intend personally to order them in every color, and of course, since they are super high quality, they do cost a little more than your Walmart standard basics. However, luckily for all UP heads, they are giving all Positive Head listeners 20% off when you go to mackweldon.com and use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word. That's spelled MACKWELDON.com. I highly recommend trying them out or ordering them for your partner or spouse. You have my 111% guarantee that your mother or mother-in-law will thank you profusely at the next family dinner. So as far as future concerns, I recall, many relationships ago, meeting with a friend, a very wise friend, and talking to them about, my relationship and how great it was and how good it was. And most of the boxes were checked on what I wanted, right? And although there was a couple key things that I felt like just weren't there. The person I was seeing, just their personality, those particular wants or needs for me, it's like, it's kind of like close, but no cigar. Like, it's not fully there yet. I'm in this relationship. And I was saying, I remember I was talking to the person and I was like, look, should I tell my partner that, kind of give them heads up like, hey, I really love you. I really care about you. I really value this relationship. And there's a couple just key things that I don't foresee working for me long term, as in I think ultimately I'll find a better fit. And I remember at the time it was really like kind of bothering me because it's like I didn't want to lead my girlfriend on at the time. As in I was sort of like just settling for the time being. And it's like, okay, you're like 90% there, but I really need 100, right? There's a few things that just aren't right. And so, going to her, I remember I was debating going to her and saying, look, telling her just that, knowing it would be really hurtful and hurt her feelings and, all that. And I was seeking advice from my friend on it. And my friend said, look, why, Brandon, would you go and negatively project into the future? You don't know exactly what the future holds. First off, have you ever seen anyone change? Maybe you change in needing those things. Maybe your partner changes in actually starting to check some of those boxes, right? We're all growing, we're all learning, we're all expanding, and is it necessary that you do this? Because that was really my big question. We've all heard the statement, or I've talked about it before on the show. I forget who they credit it to, but it's basically, let your whatever comes out of your mouth pass through 3 filters. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? And that was what I was debating is like, is this necessary? Do I need to go and say this? Do I need to kind of warn them that I'm going to dump them down the road ultimately or find someone better because they don't kind of meet these requirements that I have? And, this advice that my friend gave me is like, look, why are you projecting in the future? Anytime you're not living in the present and you're sort of projecting out there, you are at at risk of doing what I've done with not, being nostalgic about this one day because you missed it. You were so focused on what's wrong, you weren't focused on what's right. And when you focus on what's right, it creates a feedback loop of seeing more of what's right. And what can I do to make it work now? What can I do to make it right now? How can I move more into the present and not project? If you start going to someone and projecting and how it's going to go bad in the future, what's inevitably going to happen, right? So it is a very fine dance. Obviously, you don't want to ever mislead someone if you know for sure, like, this is not the person for you. And in the case I'm referring to, it wasn't. It was like, okay, I'm really enjoying this relationship. And there's a few key things that I think if someone comes along and possesses those qualities, it would take priority, right? And I would want to shift my focus. And instead of, projecting into some future timeline about how I'll feel or what I want, how can I do the best from where I'm at with what I've got? And that's ultimately what I decided was the path to do. And it may come along that this person in the future shows up that has more of the attributes that I want, and then I make a shift. But I don't know. I don't know what's, I reflected on that relationship at the time, and I could see that it had grown so much more than I even anticipated. We had grown closer. Some of the things that, were concerned at the beginning kind of went away. And so I think that was a really valuable lesson for me that, and of course, why I'm sharing it with you guys now is like, let's not get so caught up in any time out of the now. Really, right? Because at first I'm talking about being nostalgic for the past, and now I'm projecting a problem into the future. And anytime you're doing any of those things, you're doing it at the expense of the present, which is called the present for a reason, because it is the gift that you are now being presented with by the universe, which entails everything that you need to lead you to the next greatest and grandest version of yourself. Always, always, and always. The present is presenting what you need. And if you have someone in front of you who's a big part of your life, who is missing maybe some of the things that you would prefer, how can you handle that with grace and ease and not assume or project that it's going to go poorly or badly into the future? And so this is a delicate dance, right? It's so nuanced, and it takes so much finesse to really learn how to come and approach relationships, both romantic and otherwise, in a way that is coming from this very heart-centered place. And that is always going to entail bringing it back to the present. So it's a great check for ourselves, right? Am I caught up in some nostalgic past? Am I projecting negatively into the future? Oh, I am. Okay. I know that's not the path. How can I bring the power back, my awareness back to now, and ask the question, what can I do from where I'm at with what I've got to improve this and to make it more of what I'd want to see? And just bringing your focus into the now in itself instantly has, it's kind of like, taking a water hose and spraying it all over a huge, massive landscape, or focusing it on the one plant that needs the water, which is the now, right? And if you're spraying it over like 3 acres, but yet really what needs your focus is this one little delicate rose right in front of you, taking and focusing on that rose in this moment is going to yield so much more abundance and fruit, and all the things are going to come through that way of approaching and experiencing your life. And this is one that we've all been learning. Like I said, it's a delicate dance, and you're doing it and I'm doing it. And I'm so grateful to be able to share and connect and learn out loud with each and every one of you. I hope this helps you all to learn to be nostalgic about the now and to not project negatively into the future. I know it's helped me. And with that being said, I do have a song to leave you guys with. One thing, before we go, I would like to say, as of this recording, next week on February 3rd, we still have a spot here at the Mystic Manor. What I've learned is, through this retreat experience booking since last July and up through this coming July, at least for now on the books, it's been not only the most beautiful experience of my life, but I've also learned about people's travel desires and timing. And it turns out like next spring is getting so full, but what I've seen is, of course, the winter, the least amount of people booking. So we're a week out and I still have a room on February 3rd. So if any of you guys would want to come in last minute and enjoy this incredible experience in the Mystic Manor Vortex, you can go to optimistic.tv and see several videos about it if you're not familiar. But what I would be willing to do is, obviously I don't want a room to ever sit empty. So even if we take a loss on it, so be it. We will give you guys a significant discount, 35% off if you want to come next week. We also have a room the first week and second week of March, 3-2, and then the week of 3-9. And we'll do 20% off there. So spring is getting really full, and I know the summer will be really, really full. And I know once the show comes out, it's going to lead to a lot more bookings. But in the meantime, you guys have an opportunity to get in here and create some Mystic Manor magic at even a deeper discount. You can book a conversation with me to figure out all the details at calendly.com/talk with Brandon. And Calendly is CALENDLY.com/talk with Brandon. That being said, this is Fia. The song is Love is Love. And I'm loving all of you. Thank you for being. Until next time, journey well. And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.
The way we love is a bit unusual. Some people say it can't be possible to live a life in unity, committed to each other while still remaining free. Just because we're different in the way our energy moves doesn't mean we have to give up our truth. Love is love no matter what color and form. All are equally beautiful. Nothing better than being met in my fullest expression. I'm safe to be myself. There's no need to compromise. When I'm in my power, everything aligns. Just because we're different in the way our energy moves doesn't mean we have to give up our truth. Love is love no matter what color and form. All are equally beautiful. Took some time to figure out who I am, what I want, the shape of my heart. The way we love is a bit unusual. Some people say it can't be possible to live a life in unity, committed to each other while still remaining free. Just because we're different in the way our energy moves doesn't mean we have to give up our truth. Love is love no matter what color and form. All are equally beautiful. Love is love no matter what color and form. All are equally beautiful. Dun dun